Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make print-ready business cards. So to begin, I'm going to open up my Illustrator and I'm going to say File, New. I'm going to name the project Business Card. I'm going to change my profile to print. Sometimes it's on basic RGB or web, just change the preset to print. I'm going to have two artboards because I'm doing a double-sided business card. If you're only planning to do a single-sided business card, you can just leave this as one. I'm going to change my size. Firstly, I'm going to change my units to millimeters, and then I'm going to change the size of the width to 90 millimeters and the height 50. That is your standard business card size, and I'm going to change the bleed to 3 mils. Most printing shops have their own specifications. Your standard is usually 3 mil bleed and 90 by 50. I'm going to make sure that my color mode is on CMYK. My PPI is going to be 300 and my preview mode will be default. I'm then going to hit OK. Now you can see the red outline around your artboard. That indicates the bleed. So we're going to need to drag out whatever we're working with till it meets the bleed. The only time that you don't need bleed is when your business card's background is white on both sides. So let's begin. I'm going to start off by drawing a rectangle, doesn't matter what size. I'm then going to go into transform and I'm going to change that size, the width and the height, to be 96 by 56. I'm then going to press enter. Then I'm going to go back to my selection tool. The keyboard shortcut for that is V. Then I'm going to go up to align and align it vertically and horizontally. Now because we're working on artboard 1, anything that I align is going to align to artboard 1, and if I click here onto artboard 2, then anything I align will align to artboard 2, but we'll deal with that when we get there. So back to artboard 1. So now I have created a background rectangle for my business card, which is 96 by 56 mils. This is going to act as the color background for your business card. So I've already got the color that I want saved, so I'm just going to come here, copy that, and then paste it in here. I'm then going to click on my background square and then press I for my eyedropper tool, and then just hit that color. I'm now going to delete this color because I don't need it anymore. You can use your color swatches to do the exact same thing that I just did, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to do it that way. Okay. So I've already designed these cards before, so I know what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to drag and drop my logo in here. I'm going to resize it to something that looks alright. This is the logo that I use for all of the DW design things, like the tutorial and the blog. I'm going to change the color of this logo to white, so to do that you can just select it and double click on the fill, and then just change it to white and hit OK. I'm going to use the same technique to center it that I did last time, and that's looking pretty alright. I think it might just be a tiny bit big, so I'm holding shift and I'm clicking on it and I'm dragging it down. Okay, that's a bit small. Scale you up a bit. Okay, I think that looks fine. So this side of the business card is where the text and the information typically goes. I'm going to speed it up while I design this, and then I'll see you guys in a minute. Alright guys, now one last thing before we save this artwork is you want to take your selection tool and you want to select everything, and then you want to hit Control, Shift and O. What that's going to do is that's going to convert all of your text into objects. The reason we do this is because if we send this artwork to a printer and they don't have the correct font, they won't be able to see the true artwork. So by converting it to objects, as it saves it as a shape, so that when you send it to the printer, they can open it and they'll see it exactly how it's meant to be, even if they don't have the font installed. That's only if you send them the Adobe file, though. If you send it as a PDF, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be saved as an image anyway. So the next step is to go to File and say Save As, and then in the Save As types, you want to choose PDF. You want to make sure that Use Artboards is ticked, and in this case, we can use all our artboards because we only have 2 of them and we're using both of them. In other cases, if you were only using a few of the artboards, you could put them in and you can separate it by dashes. But for this case, having all ticked is fine, and then just hit save. Now with the PDF preset, you want to change that to custom, untick preserve Illustrator editing capabilities, um, and then untick optimize for fast web viewing, and you can basically just copy what I've got here. Next is to go to compression. In color bitmap images, make sure that do not downsample is ticked. Change the compression to none and repeat that process for all of the options here. Make sure that compressed text and line art is unticked. Now in marks and bleeds, it's really up to you if you want to. In the bleeds, just say use document bleed settings, because as you remember, we already set our bleeds to 3 mils. And with the marks, I would just recommend asking your printer what they would prefer, because sometimes they put their own crop marks on. But for me, I usually just have my trim marks on, and I've set it to Roman. You can use Japanese, but Roman is your standard. And then color bars, you can have color bars on, but that's really up to you. I'm going to leave it all off. Output, make sure that color conversion is set to no conversion because we've already designed it in CMYK. Don't include profiles is ticked. In advanced, you can leave your font sizes at 100, but we don't have any fonts because we've already converted it to objects. And then the rest you can just leave as is. And then security is really if you just want to put a password on the PDF, or if you want to make sure that it saves at a certain resolution or something like that. I don't need to do that. And then your summary just tells you all of the settings that you've chosen. Okay, after all of that is done, you can hit Save PDF. And here is the business card. This is your front page and your back page, and you can see that the crop marks are exactly where they need to be with the 3 mil bleed, and everything else is great. One thing that I actually forgot to mention in the video is a thing called safe zones. Basically what that is it's an area of the business card where you really shouldn't have any text or anything important going over. So what I mean by that is, because we have a 3 mil bleed, it's a good idea to have a 3 mil safe area of which you work in. So an easy way to create your safe zones is to draw a rectangle in an easy color that you can see, and then just change the height and width to 3 mil, and then you can easily just put it along the edge of your artboard and then connect a ruler to the bottom of it on all 4 corners of your business card. Once you've got your rulers, you can then go ahead and delete your square. So this is really just a fail-safe. So for instance, if your business card's going to get cut and there's text right up on the edge of the business card and the guillotine cuts it a little bit closer to the edge, you're going to lose that information, or that text is going to get cut off. The same goes with if the printer prints it a tiny bit skew, you're going to lose some of your details on the business card, and this border really just allows for that margin of error. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and if you did, or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe and check out our other free resources.